and maps are becoming more intelligent. We used to, in the 70s and 80s, call an intelligent map tabular data about geographic features. That was interesting. It distinguished GIS from CAD. Today, we talk about intelligent maps having the data and the data models and the analytic models and the workflow models and the metadata all attached. This is exciting. If I give you my map, it's an intelligent map. I can take the data and throw it away, put in my own data, and I get your cartography, and I get your data model, and I get your workflow with the map. That's very exciting. I can share my knowledge, not just my data. GIS is now able to encapsulate this knowledge, and it greatly simplifies how we work with the complexity of GIS in the background. GIS is now also integrating imagery. We used to have image processing systems and GIS systems. Now they're one. We can serve imagery. We can visualize imagery with high performance. We can analyze imagery right within core GIS tools. And we can integrate advanced processing systems with dynamic mosaicing and image processing on the fly. These are new ideas that are now available, not simply in internet platforms, but everywhere. And then mobile. Now I can go to my Apple iStore and download something for my iPad or my iPhone and have access to geo services for free. That's opening up the geo information systems to the public. It's opening up access to a soldier. It's opening up access to a field worker. It's opening up access to everybody. That's a nice idea. I can take a little geography with me in the field. But also, I can put information back into the server environment as transactions. The concept of volunteer geographic information or crowdsourcing can enrich my databases. Does that replace authoritative source? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We need it. But how we figure out how it can be used to give us updates on maps or give us information that mapping it's outside the domain of classic mapping is something that we're learning. For example, in the Gulf we had 400 workers in the field taking photographs of dead birds in the oil spill. And that information was being put back into the database and seen in the situation awareness room. Workers were able to respond. They put out booms. They cleaned up the mess. This connection between the field and our classic GIS systems, for me, is going to be one of the largest growth areas for GIS. And GIS interoperability is maturing. We have today not only the traditional approach of standards, Inspire standards, OGC standards, ISO standards, but also an age of open APIs. And one of the new ones is open web APIs, having REST applications ready and running for being able to mash up and integrate dynamic information. GIS implementations are also changing. Most of these will be familiar to virtually all of you. The desktop application is the most powerful and most pervasive. Millions of these desktop users do projects now sometimes connected to the web. The server applications allow us to build a database and serve it to a work group or to an enterprise or connect different services in a federated environment to see mashup environments. The new environment, the web environment, connects these other three through web services. I can have many services and many clients. And internet computing provides the glue. It means that my very elaborate system can connect to your very elaborate system. Of course, with all of the security safeguards in place. I don't want to share this data, only that data. Okay, I don't care. Share what you can in this environment, and we will be better. Just like GIS integrated data in the desktop, and that was very powerful, GIS data integration at the web level is likewise equally powerful. It's the key concept that we need to embrace and extend. GIS is now going online. I want to share something that's happening in my own organization. We have built something called ArcGIS.com, and I invite you to look at it because it's a prototype example of what will happen and inspire in all of the infrastructure settings. It has many services that are shared in a cloud environment that are discovered and match upable. These services are exposed either as maps or apps. The apps are very much like the Apple iStore. I can go and find an app and download it and use it. The maps and data I can either use as a raster map service, or if an agency chooses, the data itself can be acquired. So any client, desktop client, web client, mobile client, can search, discover, view that data, which may be coming from halfway around the world. So what's in this environment? Tens of thousands of maps and data sets, a sharing environment, communities. So I only want to share my data with you and you, not everybody. I only want to share it within the fire community, or only within state governments. Or, no, I want to share it with everybody. This is a choice that social networking tools give us. This environment has lots of ready-to-use data. It's not like data, GIS of the old days. I can simply go there and find data that's free, ready to use right away. And for those of you who are commercially oriented, some of that data can be free, and other data is for sale. So it's an open marketplace. There's no advocation here that it all has to be free, because it has to be paid for in some ways in some of your agencies. Crowdsourcing of authoritative data source is a new thought. My colleagues and I have tried a new experiment, and I want to share this with you. We built a topographic base map for the whole world. That's a big challenge. Where did I get the data? From government sources. I gave government sources a template, a beautifully designed template. They downloaded the template, they poured their data into it, and they uploaded a raster cache representation of their data in a continuous map of 22 different scales, from 1 to 1 million down to 1 to 1,000. And the map is complete for the whole world at 1 to 1 million. It's complete for the whole world at 1 to 100,000. And then it gets more spotty. At 1 to 50,000, North America and Australia and some countries are covered. At 1 to 25,000. Similarly, in Saudi Arabia, 1 to 50,000 is covered. And then many cities, about 450 cities already, have downloaded the template and poured their data in at 1 to 1,000 scale. They still own the data. This isn't like you give the IP rights away. They still update the data, but they share their raster cache as a continuous topographic base map. For commercial organizations, we have discovered this is kind of like an advertisement for people who want to get their real data sold. Nice, huh? New notion. It's a new idea. And I invite you to look at it. This is free and open for anybody to use. If somebody wants to commercialize it, they have to pay us for the cloud computation costs, not for the data. So people like to use things like Google Maps or Microsoft Maps. These are a much higher quality data than that. And the attribution of these maps goes back to the agency who is originally there. So it's a community, a commons license and community.